California, number 44, Corey Blunt. For Michigan State, at forward, senior, 6'7", from Grand Rapids, 35, Matt Steginga. At the other forward, for Cincinnati, a senior, 6'4", from Atlanta, Georgia, 34, Herb Jones. For Michigan State at forward, junior, 6'7", from Ferndale, Michigan, 31, Dwayne Stevens. At center for the Bearcats, 6'10", senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 50, Jeff Scott. For Michigan State, at center, junior, 6'10", from Detroit, Mike Peplowski, number 54. At the guards, for Cincinnati, junior, 6'1", from South Bend, Indiana, 52, Alan Jackson. For Michigan State at guard, freshman, 6'3", from Detroit, 24, Sean Respert. At the other guard, for the Bearcats, senior, 6'3", from Flint, Michigan, 23, Anthony Buford. And for Michigan State at guard, senior, 6'2", from Inkster, 11, Mark Montgomery. Bearcats coached by Bob Huggins. Michigan State by Judd Heathcote.
Pair of coaches with lots of W's through their careers. Judd Heathcote in his 16th season at Michigan State. He, of course, in 1979 guided the Spartans to the NCAA championship, led by the Magic Man, Magic Johnson, and Bob Huggins. Almost 20 games over 500 in now his third year at Cincinnati. And, you know, you have to wonder, Derek, and one of the keys, at least I think in my mind, Cincinnati comes in and they'll get a lot of playing time out of guys like Corey Blunt, as you talked about, Eric Martin and Terry Nelson. They've never been involved in this kind of atmosphere coming over from the junior college ranks.
It's really going to be important, Tom, for them to get off to an early start. Get some confidence early, crash the boards, get a key rebound, get a basket so that they can go on with that momentum.
Any matchups that stand out in terms of which team could, I guess, take advantage of the other?
Well, I think Michigan State, obviously, because they're at home, there's no one in particular other than the center position. I'm going to look at Peplowski and also Jeff Scott and find out who is going to actually control the middle of the floor.
All right, we're ready to tip it off. Steiginger will jump for Michigan State. And for Cincinnati, Corey Blunt, a pair of 7-0 teams colliding today in East Lansing. And the tip is controlled by the Spartans. That is Dwayne Stevens. He dumps it off to Mark Montgomery, and there is Steiginger for three, and he knocks it down, and Michigan State is on the board.
That's the kind of momentum you want at home, Tom. You want to get off to an early start. Making your first basket always gives you a little bit more confidence.
Michigan State not known as a three-point shooting team. They are only hitting 28% from the stripe. Anthony Buford, Cincinnati, wearing the road black uniforms. That's Corey Blunt, 44. Alan Jackson runs the point, and Herbert Jones, the leading scorer and rebounder for the Bearcats.
Anthony Buford from Flint, Michigan, has some of his family members here, and he obviously wants to get off to a good start.
Respert to steal. One-on-one against Jackson, knocked away by the Michigander. As Buford went up the ladder, and he can do that.
Anthony has explosive leaping ability, able to go over his own teammate and still knock the ball out of the basket. Such quick explosion when he goes up in the air. He was able to control his body. The only thing he did not do was keep the ball in bounds.
Cincinnati's defense, a big reason why the Bearcats are off to their best start since, as we told you earlier, the 1976-77 season, when that team, led by Gail Catlett, began the year at 12-0. There's Stevens, and a 5-0 Michigan State advantage.
This is very unusual for Michigan State, Tom, because they're starting off with a lot of jump shots. Usually a team that is known for its inside game wants to establish that inside game first, therefore opening up the outside shots.
Herbert Jones will try the three, and it's way too strong. Peplowski, a big man under there at 6'10", 270 pounds. 9-0. 7-zip Michigan State.
Two things happened in that transition. One, on the offensive end, Corey Blunt had his hands on the ball. That's what I meant by establishing himself. He let the ball get out of his hands. And second, coming back down on the Cincinnati defensive end, the Michigan State offensive end, he had a chance to block that shot and failed to do so.
Good pressure defense here in the early going by the Spartans. Buford tries from 3, and it's good. Anthony Buford, the senior out of Flint, Michigan, averaging 13 a game. Down the other end, Staginga drew the foul from Corey Blunt.
Every time Michigan State gets the ball, they're going to look to try to run the ball up the court. They don't want Cincinnati to put that press on them. Bearcats are causing about 24 turnovers per game right now. Therefore, they want to get it up before they set their feet.
Earlier in the year, Michigan State went out to the Maui Classic and knocked off then second-ranked Arkansas. But Arkansas did play without its best player in Todd Day. Nonetheless, they beat a very good Razorbacks team.
No question about it. They beat Nebraska. They beat a very good Rice basketball team earlier in the year. So they've got some momentum behind them. And what they're trying to do is win today and go into the next couple of games with some momentum in their own tournament. Maybe they can start off 10-0. But not if Bob Huggins has anything to do with it.
Staginga has 5 of the Michigan State 9 points. Spartans leading 9-3. Terrence Gibson is in the game. He replaced Alan Jackson for a moment, but Jackson got a quick lesson from Bob Huggins, and he's going to check right back in. Jones from the charity stripe, and he has been off the mark badly his first 2 tries. The Bearcats will not have possession. They'll get it right back.
Well, not only on his first 2 tries has Herbert Jones been off. All week in practice he's been off. And I'm sure the layoff had a lot to do with that. But Herbert Jones in the last game against Kansas City, Missouri, he's going out of the game now, but didn't shoot the ball well from the outside or the foul line.
Well, Herbert Jones is not a man UC can expect to win with while he's sitting on the bench.
No question about it. They have to have him in the lineup.
Huggins over there saying a couple of quick words to Jones. Gibson will try from 3, and it's too short, but Scott a good rebound inside.
That's a good rebound for Jeff Scott.
Out of bounds, and Cincinnati will maintain possession. We should point out the shot clocks, which normally would rest above the backboard. They had an electrical out, I guess, and only one of them was working. So what they've done to make it an even-Steven kind of situation for both teams, the shot clocks are on the floor.
That's a very important issue, Tom, especially in lieu of what happened last year. The Bearcats losing on a last-second shot.
Jeff Scott lays it in at the other end. It's Stevens who draws the foul, and Cincinnati is just simply not getting back on defense.
Well, they cannot afford to turn their head. If the ball goes up on UC's offensive end, they cannot afford to watch the ball turn their heads and look at the basket going down to the opposite end of the court. The ball's going to come by their ears. Mark Montgomery does such a fantastic job with pushing the ball up the floor every time.
Wayne Stevens has been scoring a great deal more as of late. His last 4 games, he's almost a 15-point scorer, and he rounds off the 3-point play. It's 12-5 Spartans.
Bob Huggins is yelling at the Bearcats right now. Be a little more patient on offense. Michigan State's in a looks like a 1-2-2 zone, just trying to force the Bearcats to shoot from the outside.
They dump it into Scott. Jump hook, not there. Blunt follows, draws a rebound from Montgomery.
That was a good offensive rebound by Corey Blunt. I think had he brought the ball down, he may have had a chance to go back up and make the basket as well as get the foul. But as you see, Jeff goes up. Corey's going to catch the ball while he's still in the air. Got a man hanging on his arm and tried to tip it back in. So he will get 2 shots.
One thing Cincinnati has not done well, despite being undefeated, is shoot from the free throw line. Sooner or later, you have to figure it'll catch up with them. The Bearcats as a team only at 59% from the line. But Blunt, nothing but net on his first try. Corey, a 57% free throw shooter.
You're not going to win very Division I basketball games, Tom, shooting less than 60% from the foul line. You got to shoot 70 or 75%. You and I have talked about that for 2 years now. The Bearcats have to make free throws in order to be successful at this level.
UC able to get into its full court pressure defense. Resford is the leading scorer for this Spartans team, and they force the turnover. Told you about UC's defense, and Derek, you brought it up. They are averaging 33 points a game off opponents' turnovers.
That's right, and they're causing some 24-plus turnovers a game. And Judd Heathcote, you just saw him yelling at his team, be patient with the basketball. Make the easy pass. Don't make the dramatic pass. Get the job done.
Cincinnati a chance to draw within 3 with a 2-point shot. And with a long ball, they could draw to within a pair. Jones just back in the ball game.
Running their motion offense. The Bearcats are trying to get the ball up on the board.
Boy, the Bearcats have missed badly on some shots.
Very badly.
But not Buford. The senior returning home, and he's knocked in a pair of three-point baskets right back the other way. Steginga, and a charging foul. Good defense by Blunt.
Absolutely. Corey wasn't able to get to the offensive glass that time because Anthony Buford knocked the shot down, but in getting back, he was able to keep his eye on the traffic going back down the floor that time. Take a look, if you will, at Corey Blunt. He's right in the middle, right underneath the basket, and he was able to run all the way back down the floor, establish position. That was absolutely good heads-up basketball on this part.
Well, now all of a sudden the Bearcats are crawling right back in it. A very slow start, but they're only down by 2 to the 12th-ranked Spartans out of the Big Ten.
Michigan State is shooting an absolute. They're burning up the baskets at 80%.
Look at Blunt. And Blunt, he took a tongue lashing yesterday in practice from Bob Huggins, and perhaps that has motivated the junior college transfer, but Steginga knocks in the three.
35,
Matt Steginga is just such a good basketball player. He's a good athlete, Tom. He's able to run up and down the floor and spot up in given situations, but he's always best at transition once the ball is turned over from his opponent.
15-12 Michigan State. 15:30 to go. Jones a turnaround, and he rattles it in. Jones his first deuce of the game. He's averaging 21.5. Wayne Stevens in Michigan State. You know, we could probably beat a dead horse in the first 5 minutes, but they are getting down the floor, and Cincinnati's defense is not.
I think the key is Mark Montgomery. Once the ball goes in the basket, if it does, someone needs to get on the ball to slow him down. Because as soon as he gets the ball in his hands, the first thing he does is look up the floor.
Blunt swings it cross court to Jackson. Now Jones for three, and Herbert puts in the three. He is 11 of 19 from three-point range on the year. And again the other way, and again Cincinnati not back on defense. Alan Jackson is whistled for the foul. They're not giving him a chance, Derek, to get in that defense after a bucket.
No, they're not. They're doing exactly what they wanted to do. That's their game plan. Get the ball up the court before the defense sets.
Wholesale changes for both ball clubs. It's going to be a timeout on the floor. 14:52 in the first half, and this game is even. The Spartans and Bearcats 17 apiece.
34, Anthony Miller.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to drive Chevys.
Truck buyers, you can't do better than this. Now save up to $3,600. BP on the move.
Michigan State beating the Bearcats down the other end of the floor after a Bearcats basket.
Definitely give credit to Mark Montgomery once again for this pass down to Stevens, but it's just a matter of the Bearcats either getting back on defense or stopping Mark Montgomery once the ball goes through the basket, at least stopping him and slowing him down before he makes that long up-court pass.
Eric Martin has come into the game for Cincinnati for the first time, and Michigan State puts in three men. There you see the big guy, Anthony Miller. They have Chris Wyshynski, who wears number 3, and John Zuloff is number 25. Montgomery rarely shoots, but he can put him in when he tries, and that is a two-pointer. He has 4 in the game.
Bearcats are still shooting the ball very, very well. Michigan State only has 2 second-chance points, whereas the Bearcats have 9. That tells me they're crashing the offensive boards, getting their hands on the ball. Both teams have now gone to man-to-man defense as opposed to the zones they were in just a few minutes ago.
Jackson from down in the corner in Cincinnati, shooting long ball. They have hit 4 three-pointers near takeaway, and it still belongs to Michigan State. So the Bearcats have their first lead of this game at 20-19, and we were talking during the break, Cincinnati is not playing well, but they're still leading the 12th-ranked Spartans.
Absolutely. They're playing good basketball because they're getting second and third chance opportunities. They're only shooting 46% from the field, but they're doing the good things. They're going after the basketball.
Touch foul called inside on Jeff Scott. That is a big man he was trying to handle down there, and Anthony Miller, 6'9", 255-pound sophomore, and that is Scott's second foul. He will come out of the game.
His second 14th foul.
That is Cincinnati's 14th foul. Michigan State has only committed a pair. Mike Reichenegger, a 7-footer out of Texas, comes in to guard Miller.
This is going to be important for Mike Reichenegger to keep himself in the basketball game, play good defense, not get in foul trouble, and rebound. Mike's not a great offensive player, but at least he can rebound very, very well and play great position on the floor.
Stevens Not a good outside shooter. Tried the glass, couldn't get it. And there's Eric Martin, who has just come off the bench to grab his first rebound. He had 8 of those in the win over Missouri, Kansas City.
That's a part of being hungry. And that's not a good move by the Bearcats, because they need to be patient on offense.
Wayne Stevens off to a hot start for the Spartans. Contact inside, and again fighting for position. It goes against Cincinnati. That'll be the first on Mike Reichenegger in the 15th foul. Looks like they're going to call that contact underneath.
I think they need to call it early, and as we talked to the officials before the game, they work not only the Big Ten Conference, which is very physical, but they're also going to work the Great Midwest Conference. Very physical conferences, and it's important for the officials to establish themselves early so it doesn't get out of hand.
Zuloff dumps it inside to Miller, and it's going to be goaltending against Eric Martin.
Tell you what, that was not a bad move by Eric Martin, because now he is intimidated inside, knowing that if a shot goes up on the board, he's able to get up high enough so that he can the next time maybe block the shot or make that offensive player change the shot.
Steiginger comes back in for Michigan State. Corey Blunt will do the same for Cincinnati. They're going to go ahead and wave him in. And Mike Reichenegger will go have a seat. And Miller's a big body. They got a couple of them on the Spartan team. It looked like they should have suited up for George Perlis during football. He could have used him.
Makes a great defensive lineman, couldn't he? Put him in the WWF.
Herbert Jones being guarded by Zuloff over on the right side. Herbert picks up his dribble, and Blunt there to bail him out. Good possession inside. No foul call. Steiginger above Martin. And Blunt's going to go to the hole, kick it to Jackson. Good head fake from 15. It's too strong. Fight for the ball, and the Bearcats have won it. Boy, a lot of contact down there by Michigan State.
A lot of contact, no question about it. But it's good because it's already been established. There is some contact, but you do have to be careful and watch your elbows and the unnecessary roughness.
Foul that time on Steiginger. And Eric Martin is trying to post up Steiginger inside. Martin's going to knock him around a little bit.
I think he is. He's a much more physical player. Steiginger is a good basketball player, very athletic, but he is not very physical, doesn't like a lot of contact, and Eric Martin seems to be taking it to him right now. Not a good pass by Corey Blunt that time. Too much of an angle.
See Cincinnati a big edge on the board. The alley-oop! Oh, my goodness.
That is a design play that Bob Huggins has put in just for Herbert Jones as he takes the ball out of bounds.
1 point, Bearcats lead. Jones has 7. Oh, did he get up? Buford back in the ball game. Wyshynski inside to Miller. Fight for the ball. And Alan Jackson comes away. Here comes Cincinnati. They're going to hold it up. They don't want to get into a running game with Michigan State. No foul called. Buford banks it in. Buford has 8. And Bearcats have their largest lead. They're up 3.
It's a very good defensive transition by the Bearcats to hold Michigan State to 1 shot last time down the floor and then go back down and convert that hoop.
That guy will knock it in all night long. Zuloff can shoot it.
John Zuloff is a very active player, similar to in style to Matt Steiginger, getting up and down the court and spotting up, but wide open. He can sure bury that shot.
Bearcats 24, Michigan State 23. 11:30 to play in the first half here in East Lansing. Glad you're with us. 1-on-1. Buford. Wyshynski can't handle him man-to-man, and Anthony has 10 points.
Fans wanted to travel that time. Looked like Anthony shuffled his feet a little bit, but certainly was an outstanding move.
Wyshynski can knock him in, but it's off the iron. Blunt the rebound, and Michigan State only getting 1 shot every time down.
If the Bearcats are able to continue to do that, control the boards, establish inside play, they have a very good chance of dominating this basketball game.
Blunt maintains possession. Good ball movement. Martin puts it in and draws a foul. Cincinnati is playing well for the time being. They have not been intimidated coming here into Big Ten territory.
Tom, as we talked about in the open, become hungry. UC has to know where the basket is on both ends of the floor, be able to put the ball in the basket, finishing plays, and then get the caroms off at the other end. Control the play inside. Be very hungry.
Foul went against Anthony Miller. That is his first, the team's fourth. And Martin goes to the line to complete the three-point play. Buford will sit down. He has 10 points here in the first 10 minutes of the game. And checking in for the first time is the junior college transfer, Nick Van Exel.
Instant offense.
Oh. Martin caps a three-point play, and Bob Huggins' team its largest lead by 6. Bearcats leading by 6. If you're looking for a memorable gift this holiday season, here's an idea that won't get stuffed in a sock drawer. Why not take advantage of the Bearcats' Great Midwest Holiday Ticket Special? You'll get 1 ticket to each of Cincinnati's 5 conference games at the Shoe, beginning with St. Louis on January 11th. All 5 tickets just $40, a savings of $10 off the regular price. Call 556-CATS and check another gift off your shopping list. The Bearcats leading Michigan State 29-23. Anthony Buford, the red-hot hand. He has 10 of the 29. And Michigan State brings Resford back into the game, along with a big man in the middle, Mike Poplowski. He wears 54. And you see the Bearcats on a 5-0 run.
And Mark Montgomery's also back on the floor to help handle the basketball and distribute it a little bit better. Had it not been for the fast breaks that Montgomery initiated, I don't think Michigan State would be in the game the way they are right now.
Terry Nelson also in. Turnover forced. They tried the lob to Zuloff on the weak side, and it was too high.
Bearcats have really converted on rebounding, Tom. They've done such a good job that they've held Michigan State to only 2 points on second chance opportunities, whereas the Cats have cashed in on 11.
Well, that has been a big reason why. There's Van Exel talking about him being instant offense. Good bounce pass to Jackson. Van Exel can really fill it up. He had 12 in the last game against Kansas City. There's Allen, and it is short. Van Exel the rebound. Knocked away, but a reach-in foul against Resford. Resford is the leading scorer for Michigan State, averaging almost 18.5 a game. He has been blank so far.
But this is another rebound, offensive rebound by the Bearcats, and that's nothing more than going after the basketball. And again, it looks to me like they are becoming that hungry team, going to another level, taking it up where they can be competitive with teams on every division, every level.
That is the first foul on Resford, the 5th team foul by the Spartans. Michigan State going into that zone, and they're hounding the ball. Van Exel can't handle the pass. That's a turnover.
The Bearcats are trying to avoid the closest pass and throw what's called a skip pass. That time was a little bit too high, but Nicky Van Exel tried to catch it with one hand instead of 2.
Buford right back in. Alan Jackson will sit down.
Bearcats they're going after the basketball very early. They have 5 offensive rebounds, which have actually been converted into points at this stage of the game.
UC picking up half court, and a knock away and a takeaway. Jones one-on-one with Montgomery. Herbert will take him in, and a blocking foul will go against the senior Mark Montgomery.
A little bit of experience on Herbert Jones' part, going right hand to left hand and crossing over, going to the baseline.
Michigan State.
See Herbert get his hands on the ball to even initiate that break, and going down, he goes to the baseline, which he likes to do. A little bit of a lean in right there, but they give him 2 free throws.
6th team foul, and it will be a shooting foul. So Jones goes to the line, only a 58% free throw shooter. You're going to win on the road. You have to make the free throws.
No question about it. At home or on the road, you really have to shoot free throws. And Herbert has not been shooting free throws very well. He seems to be aiming the ball as opposed to shooting the ball. He's trying to guide it up to the rim.
In and out. And Jones missed them both. Bearcats 2 out of 4 from the stripe. Check that 3 out of 5. Bearcats leading by 6. Under the 10-minute mark in the first half. Long way to go. Bearcats led Michigan State by 20 last year at Shoemaker Center before bowing in the final second.
Good defense being applied by the Bearcats right now, keeping Michigan State outside.
Poplowski had it knocked away. That last graphic should have read 29-4. They have only lost 4 games in this building. An .878 winning percentage under Judd Heathcote since they opened this beautiful arena in 1989.
It is gorgeous.
UC defending well inside.
Very well inside.
Blunt is really working on Poplawski. Well, he caught him that time. Good work by the junior center. He worked hard for that bucket.
He really did. Poplawski had his feet set. He had his man pinned, and they kept swinging the ball around so they could get it inside to him. Good move by the big fella.
Poplawski, his first 2 on the afternoon. Van Exel having a tough time catching the ball. He wanted to launch from 3. Buford, good head fake, and draws a foul on Zuloff. And Buford will go to the line.
Once again, UC's experience. Anthony Buford knew the contact was coming, trying to get the shot off, and he actually moved to the left a little bit more to absorb that, knowing that he was going to go to the foul line.
Reichenegger replaces Terry Nelson, or will it be Blunt? It will be Nelson.
Terry Nelson.
Buford, told you earlier, native of Flint, Michigan, and he has come to play. He's hit a pair of 3-pointers, along with a couple of 2-point field goals, and he has 10 in the game. 4 of 4 from the field.
He's also come bearing gifts. He brought about 8 or 10 tickets for his family. But like you, Tom, I agree. They have to make free throws. They had a chance to go up, 3 or 4 points from this mark, and they have to convert those free throws.
That'll drive you crazy, watching guys miss foul shots.
I've watched Bobby Huggins' hair turn gray in the last 2 years.
Buford connects on the second try. Bearcats by 5. Blocking foul against Terrence Gibson.
Good call. Terrence was actually trying to slow Montgomery down just a little bit. Wanted to take a charge, but his body was nowhere near good position.
Mark Montgomery, I think one of the most underrated players in the country. You will not find a better all-around point guard probably from any team in the nation.
I agree. He distributes the ball so well. He sees the court extremely well and doesn't even look for a shot. He'll only take a shot if no one else is open.
The only thing that would separate him from probably a guy like a Bobby Hurley is that Hurley will score more. I think Huggins has just drawn a technical.
Not yet. Not yet. Got a warning.
Yep, you're right.
He's still working them, though.
Some of the students that have stayed around here in East Lansing are giving it to Huggins early on. Stevens, the try is short, and the Bearcats look at Blunt go get the ball.
That's what Corey Blunt did so well in junior college.
Van Exel, his first try, and nothing but the bottom of the net. Van Exel averaging 11 off the Cincinnati bench. Blunt, a knock away, and picks up the ball. Van Exel looking down court, but he's going to move it back on out. Gibson wide open for 3.
Bearcats are now in rhythm. They're finding a rhythm.
Michigan State might want to think timeout. The Spartans are down by 10.
One more turnover, and don't be surprised.
There it is. Wait a minute. They're looking at the other official, and it will belong to Cincinnati.
Again, good defense by the Bearcats.
And Judd Heathcote has seen it up. He wants timeout. Bob Huggins' team leading the Spartans by 10. In just a couple of weeks, Bob Knight will bring his Indiana Hoosiers to the Shoemaker Center for the first clash between the two schools in 15 years. The game's been a sellout for months, but you can see it all right here on 19XIX beginning at 1 p.m. Cincinnati and Indiana. Saturday, January the 4th, from the Shoe. 28 three-pointers the Bearcats have hit in their last 3 games, and they're lighting it up here early on.
Oh, without a doubt. Look at Terrence Gibson. Didn't realize he was so far open, was able to knock it down, but they've made 5 of them so far in the first half, and they're doing just a good job. But the thing that's opened up the outside shot is the inside shot. And Corey Blunt, let's give him credit. The young man's playing very, very well. He came to work today.
There you see the percentage shooting for Cincinnati, and a fight for the ball. It's out of bounds off of Reichenegger, and a good call. Well, you pointed out at the top, Derek, that Corey Blunt needed to come to play today, and he certainly has, at least through the first 13 minutes.
He's done very, very well, but he has to maintain consistency. Continue to go after the basketball with aggression. He can out-jump just about anybody out on the floor, but he has to want to do it.
Blunt is on the bench for the time being. Reichenegger back in. A near turnover by the Spartans. Good pass inside by Stigenga, and there to put it in.
That was good patience on the part of Michigan State. Waiting and waiting and waiting. The Bearcats were not quite able to get over and cut off that last pass.
Stevens, the leading Michigan State scorer. He has 8. DeGinga also has 8. Buford leads all scorers with 10. And it's knocked away. He just throws it up, and that's going to be a shooting foul.
It might be. 3-point.
Michigan State foul.
Foul on Sean Respert. He has 2 fouls and no points.
Tell you what, that was good defense by Respert to get his hand on the basketball. Montgomery comes in. Anthony Buford, being the intelligent player that he is, immediately tries to throw the ball up toward the basket.
Buford at the line.
Anthony Buford,
One shot. Bonus
transfer from Akron, closing in on 1,300 points in his college career. You see already he has scored in double figures in every UC game, this being the 8th consecutive game, and he has 11. Make it 12.
They're giving him a 1-and-1. Bearcats have scored a couple of points off of turnovers already. Michigan State only 2, the Bearcats 8. And once again, second chance points, you know, those things really add up. You got to go get the basketball. Michigan State has not been aggressive on the offensive glass.
Buford 3 out of 4 from the line. Has 13 of Cincinnati's 37. 10 points. Bearcats lead. Behind the back. DeGinga a little fancy, but Montgomery there to bail him out. And it knocks in the jumper.
Nick Van Exel created what's called a cardinal sin. Going out of basket underneath your opponent's goal, you never save the ball back in. That one you take out with you. Give you a chance to set your defense.
Eric Martin over to Terrence Gibson. Work it inside. And Buford along the baseline and knocked out of bounds by Respert. 6:06 left to play in the first half.
We're talking about that strength inside that the Bearcats need to establish. They really miss Curtis Bostic, and we wish him well sitting at home with his girlfriend Lori taking good care of him. But Curtis, hurry back. We really need you.
Bostic underwent the back surgery and apparently is doing quite well. In a little bit of pain, but expected back strong next season. Great look, and Van Exel lays it in. Martin on the assist.
Very good patience by the Bearcats, being able to recognize the situation that was wide open.
Respert and Poplawski with a follow.
Without having a big man on the floor, UC's tallest player right now is Eric Martin at 6'6". You got to have somebody to put a body on big Mike Poplawski.
Might need 2.
You might need 2 and a bench.
Well, the crowd trying to get into it. Spartans are trailing by 8. Jones from way outside, and Herbert Jones is putting on a show tonight. Pair of 3-pointers.
Might have brought a little snow with that one.
Jones in double digits with 10. Trap in the corner. DeGinga over to Montgomery. He'll try from 3. Look at Poplawski. He is a man. He has 6.
Talk about a person who has the ability to go to the next level. If he keeps working this hard and continues to get better, hopefully he'll do well in the conference. He has a chance of maybe going to the NBA.
And he's only a junior.
Yes.
Bearcats by 9. Buford forces it up there and gets the kind roll.
Looks like Anthony's familiar with these rims.
15 points for Anthony Buford. Respert from way out. And there again is Poplawski. UC is trying to get Corey Blunt in the game.
They need either Mike Reichennecker or Jeff Scott. Scott's only got 2 fouls. I don't know if Bob's going to hold him out any longer, but he's going to have somebody come in and put a body on that young man.
DeGinga guarding Terrence Gibson. Michigan State in the man-to-man. And Gibson from three-point land. Jones the rebound. He dumps it off. Along the baseline, fading away, no good. Another tip in is good by Jones.
That's 3 shot opportunities on that exchange by the Bearcats, and they're just staying after it. No travel.
And it is an offensive foul against Michigan State. Cincinnati leading by 11 points. And a chance now to go up by 13, but there is a timeout on the floor. 3:50 to play. Bearcats 46, Spartans 35.
Bearcats 44, Corey Blunt. And 52, Alan Jackson.
Cincinnati by 11 in the first half here at Michigan State. 3:50 to play in the first half. And our 4-game summary clearly shows that the UC Bearcats have a large statistical advantage. But, Derek, I think you pointed it out very well. Corey Blunt or Jeff Scott, one of the two, if not both, had to come in here today and really go after the ball in terms of rebounding and play a very good man inside in Mike Poplawski. And so far, Blunt has been that man.
He's done very, very well on both ends of the floor. He's gone after the ball on the offensive end, and he's also gone after it on the defensive end and creating second-chance points. The Bearcats have 13 points right now and rebounding. There's no question about it. The Bearcats have been much more aggressive on both ends of the floor, especially the offensive end, with 13 rebounds.
UC on the year has been out rebounding its team by 6 per game, but Bob Huggins has not felt this team has rebounded as well as it is capable of doing, and a little bit better today. I think he would agree.
I think this Bearcat basketball team still hasn't scratched the surface of the talent that they have, because if they get all the components, all the players on this team working in the same direction, I think they have a chance of doing very, very well in this conference, if not winning it and going on to the show, the big show, the NCAA tournament.
Alan Jackson back in. He's in the backcourt with Terrence Gibson, Jones, Blunt, and Buford. So you see going with 3 guards. Huggins has done this a lot recently. Michigan State, Zaginga, Poplawski, Wyshynski. They have Stevens and Mark Montgomery.
Best way to take a big man out of the game is to take the ball right to him.
A little long by Jones. Montgomery the rebound. He pushes ahead with Blunt behind him. Zaginga from long range, and it's a 2-point.
2 for 35. That's Zaginga.
Zaginga's not the kind of guy who wants to go inside and absorb any of that contact. He'll spot up, take the outside shot if it's there, and then try to trot back down the floor.
You know, for those of you at home who are wondering about exactly how to pronounce this guy's name, all I can tell you is this. We asked him how he pronounces his name. He told us Zaginga, with the emphasis being on the second syllable.
Correct.
Everybody around here calls him Steiginga. So you make up your mind. We're just going by what he told us. And it is Zaginga.
Down to 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Gibson comes back out. It's down to 5. He'll try from 3. And goes down to the last second, but Gibson a pair of 3-pointers. He has 6 in the contest. UC back up by 12 points over the Spartans. Inside of Poplawski's fadeaway, and it's good. Poplawski has led the way for the Spartans. He has 10.
Big fella's playing very, very well down low. Feeling the contact on his left shoulder that time, fading back to his right, spinning away for a nice soft 5-foot jump shot.
I think it's hard to tell on television just how big this man is. He is big.
Takes up a little space in there.
Yeah, he does. 49-39. Under 2 minutes to play in the first half from the Breslin Center in East Lansing. With Derek Dickey, I'm Tom Brenneman. Bearcats by 10. Pretty snazzy baseline move, but Gibson in no man's land, but still gets his own rebound. He'll shoot it again. Too hard. Zaginga is there. Pretty fancy ball work. Great pass to Poplawski. And he rattles it home. 12 for the junior center out of Detroit.
Mark Montgomery reminds me a little bit of Nick Van Exel, except he doesn't have the shooting range, but being able to go left to right, and then still get inside and make that nice dish off.
Cincinnati going to hold it for a little while. They cannot take all the time off the game clock. 1 minute to play in the first half. Bearcats by 8. Shot clock at 20.
Just a simple high post motion type offense, trying to free up someone so that they can either get a backdoor or get an isolation, a one-on-one. Going down to 8, 7.
Don't know if they can see the shot clock. It's in the corner. Jackson from way out, and it's too hard. And Gibson will set it up to run out the clock for the remainder of the half.
Another offensive rebound for the Bearcats.
So UC will just hold it for the final 22 seconds. Here in East Lansing, Bearcats by 8.
Trying to take some momentum into the locker room with him.
I think that's the man who ought to have the ball.
Yes.
Buford and draws the foul on Wyshynski with 7 seconds left. The basket will not count.
Once again, experience is taking over, and you know, just as you and I have talked about many times, get the ball to Anthony Buford up high, Herb Jones down low, and let him operate.
You know, a lot of people don't know this in Cincinnati. Of course, people in Akron would. The fact that 2 years ago, Anthony Buford was one of only 45 players in America invited to the Olympic Festival.
Yes.
So this young man, and also one of 50 to try out for the Goodwill Games. So there are a lot of coaches around the country in his days in Akron that were very familiar with Anthony Buford and the kind of potential he has.
Well, you talk about representing our country. Mike Poplawski played on the U.S. Pan Am team this past summer, and that's where his experience came in, and his play has really increased over last year.
16 points for the senior. Trying to make it 17, and he does. 51-41 Bearcats, 7.5 seconds left. And a foul called on Alan Jackson. Not a wise foul. Bob Huggins just shrugs his shoulders and drops his head.
Well, it was not a good foul, but what Anthony was trying, and what Alan was trying to do was prevent Montgomery from getting the ball and running it up the floor. Now what's going to happen, bringing in instant offense. Get the ball back to either Nick Van Exel or Anthony Buford and bring it back up and try to get another shot opportunity.
No time went off the clock. The ball was not caught by a player. So still 7.5 left, 10 minutes, 10 points rather, the spread with the Bearcats in front. Montgomery, the third all-time assist man at Michigan State, misses the free throw. It's off the foot, picked up by Martin. They're going to get a shot. Van Exel launches from 3, and it's no good. But the Bearcats will go to the locker room with a very impressive 20 minutes of basketball here in East Lansing. Bob Huggins' team at 7-0. The same holds true, of course, for Michigan State at 7-0. And through the first 20, the Bearcats lead by 10.
Would that be some holiday celebration if the Cats could upset Michigan State at East Lansing? Hi, everybody. Welcome to the halftime. The Cats by 10, and it's a very big afternoon for several Cats, including Anthony Buford. Homecoming for him this afternoon. He's from nearby Flint, Michigan. He's had a great sequence of plays. 13 points for him, and let's look at two very important ones for him. Here's a great block on Sean Respert. A pair of 6 threes going up, and he got the ball. And then from the near corner, a 3. The Cats have converted 8 3-point shots. They lead by 10 here at the half against Michigan State at East Lansing. By the way, remember Ed Hightower? He's working this game. He was the bad guy, and the Cats lost to Michigan State here last year. We'll be right back.
Figure something has to give in the meeting of a pair of 7-0 teams, but the Bearcats at least the better team through the first 20 minutes, Derek, leading 51-41, and I think you have to be extremely impressed, although we do warn you they led by 18 against Michigan State last year and lost. Here are some of the highlights.
Well, starting off with the first basket of the game, Matt Saganga gets a three-pointer at the top of the key, and they just tried to carry that momentum, and they've shot very well from the field. Moving the basketball, Corey Blunt has come to play today. He was extremely active, has a career high of 7 rebounds in the first half so far. Looking up the court. Now Mark Montgomery, a nice pass up to Stevens.
And then UC got hot. They fell behind 7-0 and then put on a show, and there is the show right there by Herbert Jones.
A little bit of inspiration that time. Take a look. Eric Martin is going to get the ball on the low post, go in and follow through with 2 people around him, still gets the hoop, and then goes to the foul line and converts the foul shot.
Then UC had to try to guard the big man of Michigan State, and they couldn't handle it.
Boy, it's tough. You got trying to move a truck underneath that basket. Mike Poplawski does a fantastic job inside. T-Man, T-Rat, makes a three-pointer, wide open, takes advantage. And once again, Herbert Jones, another senior, looking, cashing in on that three-pointer.
Cincinnati had 7 three-pointers in the first half. But what stat jumps out at you?
Well, right now, I think it's just points off turnovers, and rebounding is a big key. Bearcats, as we said in the open, have to go after the best ball on both ends of the boards. They got to get Corey Blunt and Jeff Scott involved, keep them in the game, not in foul trouble, get some scoring from their experienced players out front.
Talked about Buford coming home, a native of Flint, Michigan. 17 points. Herbert had 12 in the first half, including a pair of three-pointers for Michigan State. The big man inside, Poplawski with 12, Stagenga with 10. But I think one man who is not on that list that we should point out, Sean Respert, the freshman, averaging almost 19 a game. He has been shut out in the first half. So the second 20 minutes, the final 20 minutes. Coming up next, it's Cincinnati by 10. Cincinnati leading by 10 on the first half over Michigan State, 51-41. And we're ready to begin the second half. Of course, the Spartans came into this game ranked 12th in the nation in the Associated Press. They were number 13 in the USA Today and 14th in the UPI poll. Cincinnati has not been given any recognition in the top 25 so far. That could change with a win today, but a long way to go.
The question is that a lot of people have, can the Bearcats finish?
They had the great start last year, and they begin the second half with a turnover. That is only the 4th turnover of the game by Cincinnati, so they have managed to not kick it away or throw it away against the Michigan State pressure. Resford with a basketball, and there is a walking on Matt Staginga, and he knew it. He nodded his head, and Cincinnati will inbound just in front of us. Judd Heathcote, been around these parts for 16 years. And everybody remembers that team in 1979 of Magic Johnson and Gregory Kelser, the NCAA champions, when they knocked off Indiana State and Larry Bird.
Bearcats at this point have created 8 turnovers.
Buford going right back to work and give Buford 17 of those in the first half.
Whenever in doubt, get the ball to your experience. Get it to your seniors.
Near walk and a takeaway by Jones. Resford has not had an easy time doing anything today. Buford for 3. Buford is third three-pointer, a 5-0 Cincinnati run to open the second half. The Bearcats lead by 15. Buford falls down. Jones is right behind him, takes it strong, and it's 7-0 out of the gate. Judd says, hold the phone. The Bearcats lead by 17 over Michigan State, and the Spartans look stunned. Back with more in a moment. 58-41 Cincinnati on a 7-0 run, Derek, to open the second half.
I've been telling people all along how good Anthony Buford is, and not very many people have seen him play. But Anthony, look at him hustling, diving after the ball on the floor, but he's able to put the ball in the basket with just about anybody in the country.
Michigan State puts the ball in bound, and it will be a foul called against Cincinnati's Jeff Scott.
Bearcat foul, 23, Buford.
No, it'll go against Anthony Buford. That is Buford's first personal, first foul of the half. Anthony Buford, 7 out of 7 from the field. He has 22 points, and that, needless to say, is a career high at Cincinnati. Near takeaway, and then it'll be a foul against Corey Blunt. Looked like he had pretty good position. Resford ran him down, but it'll go against the Cincinnati junior, Corey Blunt.
A.D. Jackson almost had his hand on that loose ball, able to tip it back away, but Michigan State maintained possession of it.
I think this crowd is in shock. Judd Heathcote, he has a great deal of respect for Cincinnati, and he said so in the newspaper coming into this game. But I don't think the crowd expected a 17-point deficit by the home team.
Well, some of them might still remember the game last year and remember that the Bearcats went up by 18, but they weren't able to finish last year. Let's see if this Bearcat has a little bit different feel for the game, the entire game, 40 minutes, than the team did last year.
Herb Jones, the main man. They swing it over to Blunt. He'll pull up in front of Poplawski, face, in and out. And the big man with a rebound, and Michigan State comes down with 18 minutes to play. Good pass inside. And Poplawski didn't need to fade away. He could have taken it up strong.
That's a situation you have to recognize.
Blunt working inside over Poplawski and will not go. And Stevens a rebound. I don't think that's the kind of shot Bob Huggins has in mind for his team.
I agree with you. Not at all.
Montgomery forced it over to Resford. And it's knocked into the row about 5 back.
You know, Sean Resford had his shot blocked in the first half by Anthony Buford, and he kind of went into a shell. Maybe this block by Corey Blunt is going to create the same situation, going up for what he thought was uncontested, and Corey comes out of nowhere.
Michigan State has not scored in the second half. Zuloff just in the fadeaway, and the southpaw drills it home. He has 4 on the game.
It's a nice touch by John Zuloff.
You see, Alan Jackson forces it into the lane and drills it home. Jackson with 5. Montgomery taking it coast to coast, and there you see, we talk about the 6'2 senior out of Inkster, Michigan.
Absolutely should not happen. Have a man drive the length of the court, go right down the heart of your defense, and lay the ball in the basket. Make him take a jump shot, make him pass the ball off.
60-45 Cincinnati, 16:50 to play. Jackson tried to get it inside and was able to get the ball right back.
Fans wanted to travel or double dribble.
Jones, short, off of Blunt's fingers, and Stevens the other way. Stevens, a one-on-one move against Jones, draws a foul, and it will not go. Cincinnati a little sloppy after that 7-0 start to begin the second half. They're forcing shots and not getting back like they did the first couple of minutes on defense of the first half.
If the Bearcats are able to play with patience, not necessarily forcing the ball, you're going to see Stevens coming down, making a very nice move. Wayne Stevens goes up for a nice, about a 7 or 8 foot jump shot, drawing the foul from Herb Jones. But if the Bearcats can maintain their composure, take good shots within the context of the offense, let everybody touch the ball, they have a chance of coming away from here with a victory.
Stevens very good from the line. 78% on the year, and he is 2 for 2 from the line today, 4 out of 6 from the field. Cincinnati, a couple of substitutions. Eric Martin comes into the ball game, and Jeff Scott is back in. Corey Blunt sits down, and Buford will get the rebound off the miss. So 60-46 Bearcats, 16:25 to play from East Lansing.
Not the time to get conservative with the basketball. It's time to be very smart with the basketball.
Jackson fading away, and it's too strong. Here comes Michigan State. Montgomery taking it down the lane, and that is just a bad pass. Herbert Jones with a dunk. You would think Michigan State, the way they're playing, they would lead by 20.
They're shooting the ball very, very well. You want him with the ball out there.
62-46. Through the first 15 minutes, this has been a butt-whooping. Thrown out of bounds, another turnover, and Cincinnati takes control. Blunt checks back in. Looks like Herb Jones will get a breather.
For Jones.
Nice outlet pass by A.D. Jackson. Almost could have called a travel. Herb Jones finishes the play off. They need experience on the floor right now.
Nick Van Exel back in the ball game along with Eric Martin, Corey Blunt, Anthony Buford, and Alan Jackson. Cincinnati leading 62-46 here against Michigan State. Wyshensky comes into the game for the Spartans. Martin will not shoot it from out there.
Tell you what, if Eric Martin learns how to put the ball on the floor going to the basket, he'll be able to get shots like that almost at will. 2 dribbles, 1 or 2 quick dribbles to the hoop.
I think you're starting to see for the first time Eric Martin and Corey Blunt perhaps feeling comfortable. I don't want to take that too far because they might come out the next game and look like they have the first few games. Right. But both players seem to be very much in a groove, and ironically enough, it comes at the most difficult place to win that they've had to deal with so far this year.
They were challenged by Bob Huggins, just as Coach Huggins challenged Jeff Scott last week. You know, you have to come to play in big games. You can have good games against anybody you want, but games that get exposure on the national level, you have to come to play. You have to win. You have to be hungry. You have to go get it.
Martin rolls off. He has 4 in the game, and the Bearcats lead by 17 points, 63-46.
One advantage I think the Bearcats have this year over last year, Michigan State does not have a Steve Smith that can score 22, 24 points in a half.
Well, he took over the game last year.
No question about it.
Foul goes on Anthony Buford trying to get that rebound away from Zuloff. Zuloff will go to the line, and he'll shoot a fair. That is a 4-team foul. Michigan State has only been whistled for 1 foul here in the second half. Zuloff, a pretty good guy to have coming off your bench. Averages almost 3 rebounds and 6 points per game, and cannot get the free throw to go. Zulauf actually led this team in scoring when they went on a tour of Australia over the summertime. As you see Jones come in for Buford, Zulauf averaged 18 points per game.
It was a more wide-open game when you play international style. That game is conducive for Zulauf, and it's also conducive for a guy like Matt Tagenga, just running up and down the floor, shooting the ball from the wings, and that's all they play in Europe. Very, very little half-court basketball.
Poplawski is first 2 in the second half. He has 14 to lead Michigan State. Foul called inside. It'll go against Zulauf. That'll be his second personal, the second team foul against the Spartans.
Michigan State foul, 25.
Perhaps this game and the 2 upcoming against South Florida and Indiana are the 3 biggest games in a row that a Cincinnati squad has had in some 12 or 14 years in terms of climbing into the headlines across the country and drawing a national ranking. They can win here, beat South Florida on national television New Year's Eve, and then play Indiana at home. They're going to open a lot of eyes.
But they have to approach those games one at a time.
Right. Long way to go in this one, though. 14 minutes. Van Exel forces it up there, draws the foul, and he'll go to the line for a pair.
Very excellent move by Nicky Van Exel going up. A little bit of experience displayed in that move. Knowing where the defensive player is. See him spinning away from him, going straight up and absorbing that contact. Very good move. Very heads up.
Andy Pennick comes into the ball game. He has seen very little playing time this season. Sophomore out of Louisville, Kentucky, played at Pleasure Ridge Park. You see Montgomery has to go to the bench with 3. And Stevens also will have a seat as Anthony Miller, the big sophomore, comes into the ball game. Van Exel will try a pair from the line. And the first one is off the front of the iron. Cincinnati continues to struggle at the stripe.
The second half is going to be absolutely crucial for the Bearcats. They know they're going to get fouled. Going to the line, they have to make at least 3 out of 4 free throws.
Bearcats 9 of 15 from the line, but they get the rebound. Van Exel misses the jumper. Tipped by Jones will fall.
34, tipped by 34.
Jones with 18.
If you have a guy like Herb Jones who can get the ball for you, that's nice. But you got to make free throws.
Lots of the fans have made the trip up here to East Lansing from Cincinnati, and right now they're making more noise than the some odd 14,500 that are cheering for the Spartans.
They have something to cheer about.
This really is a beautiful facility here in East Lansing. Told you it opened a couple of years ago, and Michigan State has been almost unbeatable on this floor at 29-4. 3 of those 4 losses came to Big Ten teams. The other was against Bowling Green.
Just like anything else, you have to come ready to play. Sometimes the Spartan team does not.
Foul will go against Nick Van Exel.
Looks like that could have gone either way. Take a look, if you will.
31, Nick Van Exel is first.
That was a good call. Very good call. Van Exel did not have position.
That is the first foul against Nick Van Exel, and already 5 fouls called against Cincinnati this half. Turnover, bad pass from Andy Pennick to John Zulauf. You look at this Michigan State lineup right now. Resford is not in. Tagenga is not in. Dwayne Stevens nor Mark Montgomery. 4 of the 5 starters are on the bench. Judd Heathcote thinks that's where they should be sitting. Blocked away. What a block by Wyshynski. Saved by Jones. Scott is there. And Jackson will dump it outside of the big fella. He may have walked. Shouldn't have taken that shot anyway.
No question about it. Huggins is not very happy.
Foul called underneath. It'll go against Jet Scott, trying to body up with Anthony Miller. And for Jet Scott, that is his 3rd personal foul. Got only 2 points, but he's given him some good minutes.
Great defensive effort this time by Wyshynski, going after the basketball, knocking it away from Jackson. AD had nowhere to go, pitches it out to Scott. The fans wanted to travel. The ball just was not there for him, and he creates an unnecessary foul down on his defensive end.
Wyshynski, a native Virginian, sets up the offense. 65-48 Cincinnati. Miller left alone and runs it down
left side of the gym shook when Anthony Miller threw that down.
15-point Bearcats lead. 12:50 to play between the Spartans and the Bearcats. Van Exel from long range, and he silences the crowd. Van Exel has 7 on the afternoon. That's his first tray. An 18-point lead for Plowski. Now the left side really shook.
Big fella really does move fast. It's a nice pass coming in from the outside from Anthony Miller.
68-52.
That's the shot Herb Jones should take.
Martin, the turnaround, blocked by Miller, and the rebound is Zuloff. He's in a trap. And they call a foul. Bob Huggins is furious with the officials. He felt like Eric Martin got slapped on the arm, and he is laying it on right now.
He may have, but Eric Martin fell away. He faded away from the basket in trying to take that shot, which was not a very good shot. And usually after you make one mistake, you compound it by making another.
Crowd is screaming at Huggins. They want the officials to give him a technical. Now they realize that Michigan State has gone into the bonus. That is a 17 foul against the Bearcats. So Michigan State will be in the 1-1 throughout the rest of this ball game. 12:06 to play.
Well, that's what we were talking about, Pop. The Bearcats need to be a little smarter. They need to take good care of the basketball and start utilizing the clock. I wouldn't take a shot if I were them until the clock got under 20 seconds. Utilize the clock. It's their best adversary right now. Get as much time off as you can and still got plenty of time to take a good shot.
You have a feeling that Michigan State is going to make a run here very soon. It's going to be a matter of whether Cincinnati can hold them off.
No question about it.
Zuloff has 5 in the game. 3 of those have come in the second half. He's 1 for 3 from the stripe. Judd Heathcote has led Michigan State to a pair of Big Ten titles, 5 NCAA tournament appearances, and a 7-0 start this year.
Over the back.
Foul called. It'll go against Jones.
Looked like John Zuloff actually went over the back.
34.
If we get to see this again, Terrence Gibson goes in to block the shooter off, and John Zuloff is all over his back, and no foul is called.
And Poplowski came out, was high-fiving everybody in the building. Man, Poplowski, a very emotional player. He wants his crowd, which has been very quiet, to get in. Poplowski's had a big game. 8 out of 9 from the field, 9 rebounds. Good player.
The best way to silence or to minimize a player's efforts like Poplowski, take the ball right to him. Get him out of the game by taking away his confidence on the defensive end. Put the ball right in his face.
Poplowski leading Michigan State with those 17 and make it 18. So now all of a sudden it's down to 13 points. 12 minutes left to go.
This is that run you were talking about. The Bearcats have to be patient. No need to rush any type of shot. Use the clock. Use the clock.
Pump it in down low to Blunt. Turnaround. Not a good shot. But Scott there for the rebound. Buford a fadeaway. That is short. Another rebound to Cincinnati. That'll be a reach-in against Zuloff. Bearcats seem to have absolutely lost control of all of their offensive design here.
I'm still wondering why they're forcing shots as quickly as they are without using the clock. Not a very good decision, and you would think Anthony Buford and Herb Jones would recognize that situation.
All right, we'll take a timeout. Bearcats by 13, 11:39 to play.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf.
So, what kind of Christmas gift would you...
Team in Michigan State making a run. Want to remind you, UC will play another Big Ten power, this time at home on January 4th against Bob Knight's Indiana Hoosiers. That game is a sellout, but you can join us on 19XIX Saturday, January 4th at 1 o'clock. Bearcats inbound to Terrence Gibson. He's joined by Buford, Jeff Scott, Corey Blunt, and Herbert Jones with a basketball. Michigan State has 4 of its 5 starters in there, the exception being Anthony Miller. Gibson in trouble. Nobody moving to come and get it. And now he gets it away to Scott. He's getting hacked on the arm, but nobody's calling anything.
Bearcats need to become a little more aggressive on the offensive end, going after the basketball. They have 14 offensive rebounds. Michigan State only has 6.
Shot clock down to 10. Jones for 3. No good. And UC just not taking good shots. Oh, good pass, and Staginka could not handle it. Bob Huggins going to get Alan Jackson right back in there. Terrence Gibson will come out.
The 14th turnover by Michigan State at this point.
Eric, I don't know, maybe you can try to explain it. The last 4 or 5 times down the court, Cincinnati has not had a good shot.
They need to be a little more patient, I think, with the basketball. They're trying to rush a shot. Maybe it's not so much rushing the shot. They're taking shots within the context of the offense, but they're not utilizing the clock. I think they need to wait, be a little more patient. Move the ball an extra pass or 2.
Anthony Buford wants the ball. He leads Cincinnati in scoring in this game. Herbert Jones pulls up, off balance, too strong. Not a good shot by the senior out of Atlanta. 13-point lead, closing in on the 10-minute mark to play in Michigan State. Staginka, jump shot.
Staginka, 35.
Staginka is the kind of player who likes to get his feet set facing the basket, and he'll go up for a jump shot.
Well, UC has allowed the crowd back in.
Yes, they have. They had him completely out of the game.
11-point lead. Jackson for 3. They're not even looking inside.
No, and that's the problem. Establishing the inside game the way they did the first half enabled them to take pretty much uncontested outside shots. But once you take away that inside, outside shots are not going to win a lot of games for you.
Poplawski dumps it off to Restford, and he was hacked on the arm going through the lane. This place is rocking now.
Cincinnati foul 34. Herb Jones.
That'll go against Herbert Jones. That is his 3rd personal foul and the 19th foul. Cincinnati, 19 fouls. Michigan State has 4. 1 more, and Michigan State will shoot 2 every time at the line for the rest of the game.
Bearcats are just getting beat to the ball. They're flat out getting beat to the basketball at this point, and they're not as hungry, not playing as hungry as they did at the start of the game. Granted, you get a lead and you coast. You cannot coast. You have to be able to have and possess the killer instinct and put the game away.
Restford, his first 2 points of the game. It is under double digits. 9 points. Bearcats lead.
There is one way the Bearcats can silence this crowd, and that's by getting a basket on this possession.
Nobody moving at all in the offense.
They don't need another jump shot. They need to get the ball inside.
Michigan State being charged up by this crowd. Shot clock is at 15.
Plenty of time.
They're looking down low to Jones. Shot clock at 5. Blunt in trouble. They're going to have to force a shot. Buford a fadeaway. No good. Foul called. It'll go against Michigan State. I just cannot understand, and I don't mean to keep bringing it up, but it seems to me as though Cincinnati's offense has gotten far too conservative. I mean, they came down the court in the first half, dumped it inside, went with authority to the basket, and now they're waiting to the final 5 seconds every time they have the ball to shoot it now.
Well, I think they're trying to be more patient, which is, I don't know if they can hear me on the bench, but they need to do that. Utilize their athletic abilities on trying to hold the basketball.
Lead is down to 7.
Making good decisions, good passes, good spacing on the floor. The Bearcats have to have it. They have to get the reputation of being known as a team that knows how to finish. They don't have that yet. That's why they're not getting national recognition.
Buford in the lane, forced his way in, and that's going to be a foul on Restford. Cincinnati had a 7-0 run at the start of the second half. and led this game by as many as 18 points. That is the 4th foul, by the way, against Sean Resford's 6th team foul. But at any rate, an 18-point lead is now down to 7. Stegenga will come out.
At this point, Bearcats may want to keep Resford on the floor. He's only made 2 points, but you certainly don't want a guy like that to get hot.
Wyshynski comes back in. Resford comes out. 8:11 to play, and the Bearcats are just hanging on. It's like they're trying to get Buford in a one-on-one situation, almost in a clear-out. That's exactly what it is. He pulls up and cannot buy it. Blunt the tip, no good. Scott fights for the rebound, picked up by Jones, and that is a big basket.
Extremely big basket by Herb Jones. Another second and third chance opportunity, but the Bearcats have to play intelligent basketball right now. Take care of the ball. Take care of the ball.
Jones has 20. Bob Huggins. Can his team hold on? They lead by 9. Bearcats got a much-needed basket to up their lead to 9 points.
Anthony Buford goes down in what appeared to be a one-on-one situation. Corey Blunt and Jeff Scott being aggressive around the offensive end, but who's there? Herb Jones picks it up and converts the basket. And as he's peeling out of there, he actually stepped on the finger. I didn't see who it was, of one of the Michigan State players, and that's why the timeout was called.
I think he got Wyshynski. See the rebound. Michigan State has done a much better job in the second half. Wyshynski banks it in. That is a 2-pointer, and for Chris Wyshynski, that is his first pair of the ball game. The lead is at 7.
Excellent move by Mark Montgomery, stepping through the trap, stepping through the defense, being able to find the floor.
Blunt, reverse lay-in, and Corey Blunt with a right-handed lay-home, and he has 6.
Whenever you're being overplayed, the best thing to do, give a head fake, take the ball to the basket.
Montgomery going one-on-one with Buford, but Montgomery not a one-on-one kind of player.
He certainly is not. Just a very smart player. Makes good decisions.
7 minutes to play. Bearcats by 9. Wyshynski thought better of it. Take away by Cincinnati. No call on a hack on the arm, and Miller misses. Rebound to Jones, and now a foul is called.
I think we heard that all the way back in Cincinnati. He was slapped so hard. Jeff Scott.
That is his 7th team foul.
I expected
Michigan State.
I expected to see the assistant coaches actually peeling Bob Huggins off the ceiling after that.
Huggs fired his jacket away. So Bobby is down to shirt and tie. And Cincinnati in the 1-1 now, as Michigan State is committed, mentioned a moment ago, it's 17 foul. And that one went against Stegenga, who has 4 on the afternoon. They're going to leave him in there, though. Only one more to play with, but 6:47 left. Bearcats 72, Spartans 63. Jones deadly from the field, 9 of 15. But from the line, he's 0 for 2.
That time Herbert took his time and shot the ball. He did not try to guide it or shot put the ball up to the basket.
Jones, 21 points. Too strong, out of bounds. Who got last foot? It'll belong to the Bearcats.
This is the time of the game where you start looking to see where your substitutions are, looking to see how many fouls people have, and also who has the possession on the shot clock.
Possession arrow is going to Michigan State, so the next jump ball, they'll have it. Corey Blunt, a 15-footer, fights for the rebound, but Stegenga's there, and a foul by Blunt. That is a 3rd foul against Corey, and that is a 10-team foul. So for the last 6 minutes and 29 seconds, Michigan State will go to the line for 2 shots every single time.
Not a very smart move by Corey Blunt. He missed a jump shot, and I don't know how many times we can say this, but invariably, Bob Huggins is going to tell him, once you make a mistake, don't compound it. Don't go after the ball and follow it around and get an unnecessary foul. It only creates more problems for the team. It stops the clock, which is now going to hurt the Bearcats.
Stegenga with 12, 65% foul shooter. 3 out of 3 from the stripe today. 9 points, Cincinnati lead.
The guy some socks. Got those little footies on. I don't like that.
A lot of the kids are playing with those these days.
Yeah, I know. And those baggy, those Joe Frazier pants down to their knees.
Buford being guarded by Resford gives him a good juke and knocks it in. Anthony Buford. He has 9 points in the second half. Resford head fake. And no good on the 3. Good boxing out there by Cincinnati. And Paplowski tried to reach around Jeff Scott and is called for the foul.
Very good boxing out, but the Bearcats did one thing. They forgot to get the basketball, allowing the ball to hit on the floor. Take a look. Good box out. Great box out by the Bearcats, but the ball actually gets all the way down to the floor before it's even rebounded.
Ed Paplowski looks like he was cut out of one of these mountains here in Michigan just to roam the face of the earth. I can't tell you how big he is walking right up the floor.
They got him listed at 270 pounds, but he's got to be 290. Easy. At 6'10".
Scott. Foul line. First time he's been there today, and he puts it in. 3 points for the senior out of Mount Healthy High.
As we said earlier, the Bearcats are going to be fouled. They have to convert their free throws this stage of the game.
No good. And Dwayne Stevens, who has come back in, gets a rebound. 76-64. The Bearcats lead the Spartans. 5:49 left to go here in East Lansing. Montgomery right down the middle, kicks it out to Steginga, and it's short. Resford the rebound. Stevens, a head fake, draws the foul, throws it up, and almost banked it in. Foul will go against Alan Jackson.
That's the kind of shot I would want Stevens to take out there, but you don't want to foul him and give him 2 shots in that situation. He's going to the line for 2 anyway, but you don't want him to be able to get his hands up. Buford goes up and allow him to get the ball back up toward the basket. If you're going to foul him, grab him around the waist. Don't let him get the ball back up.
Alan Jackson, his 3rd foul. Michigan State will shoot 2 from here on out every foul against Cincinnati. And Stevens, a good free throw shooter, puts it in. Stevens 3 out of 4 from the line. 76-65. Bearcats leading Michigan State. Both tries are good. 10-point lead. Michigan State looking to try and trap. Montgomery was sneaking over there in case Buford turned the other way. Jackson forced it in. Good defense by Stevens down low as they tried to get it to Herbert Jones.
It was good defense by Stevens to knock the ball away, but he reached with his wrong hand. Had he reached with his hand closest to the ball, he might have been able to keep the ball in play and deflect it to himself.
They're just daring Corey Blunt to shoot it from out there, and he won't. He'll hand it off to his teammate Alan Jackson. 5 minutes to play, and the Bearcats lead the Spartans by 10.
We saw Corey Blunt make an excellent move earlier by giving a head fake and bouncing the ball.
Shot clock is at 5. Buford going to have to force it up there. No good. Again, Cincinnati having to shoot with seconds left on the shot clock. Steginga. Lead is down to 8. Steginga with 15. Second leading scorer for the Spartans. That'll be Michigan State ball. That's a good call.
Herb Jones went after the ball very lackadaisically.
Some of the Bearcats look tired. Jones and Buford in particular. They've gone the entire second half. 4:15 left. The Bearcats by 8. Van Exel going to come back in. Bad pass, but Michigan State gets it back. Steginga dumps it into Stevens. Great feed.
Indeed it was. UC had several areas sealed off. Michigan State comes up with the loose ball, something they did not do in the first half. Looks like a one-on-one for Anthony Buford once again at the top of the key.
Jackson going to clear out of there, and Buford goes to work. Spin move, no call. Bounce pass to Stevens. Michigan State within 4. Cincinnati led by as many as 18. And Bob Huggins wants timeout. Back with more. Cincinnati led by 18. They now are in front by only 4 points. 3:20 to go in our 4-game summary. It's been all Michigan State the last 15 minutes.
It certainly has, and you can see turnover-wise, you know, UC has the advantage there, but Michigan State is putting the ball in the basket, shooting 66% from the game, forcing UC to take outside shots and getting them into situations just like this. Taking the ball away, going down and converting on the other end, getting easy layups and second and third chance opportunities.
I want to remind you that Derek and I will select the Performance Automotive Performer of the Game at the conclusion of this one. And a long way to go. Hats off to Mike Poplawski and the Spartans team. They looked all but dead when the Bearcats began the second half on a 7-0 run. Cincinnati led by 10 at halftime, pushed that lead up to 18. It is now down to 4. Shades of a year ago between the Spartans and Bearcats when Michigan State trailed by 18 at halftime and won the game on a final second shot. Charging call. That is the fourth foul on Alan Jackson.
Is possession made? You make the call. You have to establish your position.
That is a player control foul, so Michigan State does not go to the line. Resford forced it up there, and he is called for travel. 3:08 left to go. Anthony Buford has come out for a quick breather. He won't be sitting on the bench long. Nick Van Exel is in. Alan Jackson, the junior, will run the point.
3 minutes to go. Still plenty of time.
Herb Jones wanting the ball. Going against Stevens. Fades away. Banks it in. Herbert Jones. But again, 11 second half point.
Tom, that was not a good shot. Herbert's taking a 10-foot shot, making it into a 15-foot shot by fading away.
Tipped out of bounds by Corey Blunt. And I know you work with a lot of young players in Cincinnati, Derek, and when you're able to jump like a Herb Jones, or if you have a decided height advantage, why fade away?
Well, the only reason is you're looking for the big man behind the guy that's guarding you, trying to prevent him from blocking the shot. But Herbert Jones has the ability to take his shot up over just about anybody in the game of basketball.
Resford in trouble. Kaginga bails him out. 2:30 to go. Bearcats by 6. Poplawski in strong. Goaltending against Blunt.
Basket by 54.
Looks like a good block from this angle. Take a look, if you will. It's kind of difficult from the angle we have. The ball is almost knocked in by a Bearcat. Corey Blunt goes up. Looked like a good block from this angle.
Jones going to have to help out against the pressure.
Bearcats have been getting their hands on some balls. They're blocking about 5 shots per game, and you got to give a lot of credit to Corey Blunt for that.
78-74 Bearcats. 2 minutes left to play in East Lansing. Coming up on it. Van Exel takes it to the hole, goes up, and it will not fall, but he draws a foul. That's something that Steve Moeller, the assistant, told us he'd like to see Van Exel do a little bit more of. Take the ball to the basket.
Absolutely. But you have to get in a rhythm. And you need to be in the basketball game in order to establish that rhythm. And Nicky can go to the basket with just about anybody.
Van Exel will go to the line. Foul went against Poplawski. That's his third, but really pretty much meaningless at this point unless we were to go to overtime. Van Exel from the stripe this season. Only 4 tries all year, and he's made 1.
Much better free throw shooter than his stats indicate right now, but the young man has the ability to score almost at will.
5-point lead, and now it'll remain at 5 as he misses the second shot. 79-74, a minute 50 to go. By the senior. It looked like Resford faked out Montgomery.
Well, not only that, Resford has a bad knee. He planted his bad knee and tried to go after the basketball, and he had nothing there. He couldn't go get it.
Corey Blunt will come out of the game. Cincinnati will go with 3 guards. Van Exel, Buford, and Jackson. They'll keep Herbert Jones in the game and Jeff Scott.
Nicky Van Exel almost came back on the floor and failed to report. It could be a technical foul if he does that.
What happened was Van Exel thought he was coming out of the game.
Right.
When in essence it was Corey.
Is he going to call it?
I think they're going to call it.
And for Michigan State, 34, Anthony Miller.
I mean, they could call it. It would be within the rules.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But it looks as though they're not going to. Miller comes in for Michigan State. And Poplawski will sit down. Poplawski has been a force in this game for the Spartans, and he goes to the bench.
He might be a little winded, Tom.
Poplawski leading Michigan State with 20 points. Still a little confusion over at the table. This situation is still not resolved. Cincinnati could get hit with a technical foul, maybe. Give you an idea of some of the scoring. Buford with 24, Jones with 23. None of the UC players in double figures. Michigan State, 4 players in double digits. They trap Buford. He gets it away to Jones.
Get it across the line.
Somebody's got to be open. Jones going to take it to the hole now. He'll pull back. Minute 35 to play. Bearcats leading 79-74. Good bounce pass to Jackson, and a terrific block, but a foul is called. Anthony Miller. That looked clean, but maybe he got him with a body.
Well, that is exactly what you want to do when you're getting pressured, is make backdoor cuts to the basket. A nice pass from Van Exel. AD goes up. Yes, there is body contact, but that's exactly what you want to do. Take the ball to the hole and take it in aggressively.
Timeout. 1:25 left to go. Jackson will go to the line when we come back. Cincinnati leads by 5. Tom Brenneman along with Derek Dickey back in East Lansing, Michigan at the Breslin Center, where the Bearcats lead the Spartans 79-74. Question now whether UC can make its free throws down the stretch.
Well, no question about their ability to get field goals. They're shooting right now. They've shot 20 more field goal attempts than Michigan State. However, Michigan State's shooting 67%. The Bearcats only 45. But, you know, as you say, can they make their free throws? Can they finish the game off? They have to be able to do that in order to be able to get consideration for being a top team in the country.
Michigan State, 19 consecutive games. This would be the 20th that they have held the opposition under 50% shooting in a game.
At the line, 52.
So this is nothing new for the Spartans defense.
Oh, no, not at all. But they as a team are shooting right around 53% as a team themselves.
It's 2.
Alan Jackson going to the line. First time he's been there today. And Allen, without question, is the best free throw shooter the Bearcats have at well over 70%. And he'll get higher than that as the year rolls on. 6-point lead. And make it 7 as Jackson nails them both.
Defense is going to be very, very important. You don't want to put Michigan State on the foul line. You do want to make them have to shoot over a defender.
Miller the rebound and a foul. Almost a 3-point play.
As we just said, you don't want to send them to the foul line.
44,
Corey Blunt is 4th personal foul. And Miller will go to the line for 2.
In a situation that we just saw the replay of, Bob Huggins works on his team day in and day out. Prepare yourself, get position for a long rebound. That rebound came off on the long side. I'm sure he's going to be furious about that and run that again and again and again in practice.
Zuloff comes back in. Resbert sits down. Stegenga sits down. And Poplawski, the three leading scorers for Michigan State, are all on the bench. So they're interested in defense right now.
Absolutely. I think Judd Heathcote's been there once or twice before.
Yeah. I like this Miller.
Young man has a lot of ability, doesn't he?
Hits both free throws. 81-76. Eric Snow, a Buckeye, came out of Canton McKinley High, and the brother of the former Michigan State great linebacker, Percy Snow. That'll be an intentional foul. It has to be. Montgomery just grabbed Jeff Scott around the waist.
Are they going to call it?
Well, it doesn't matter anyway. They go to the line for two. Oh, it matters if you get the ball or not.
Absolutely, it sure does. Huggins is looking for the intentional foul. He's asking. Oh, you got to be kidding.
Apparently, they say it is not an intentional foul.
That would make a big, big difference.
Well, the main artillery coming back in now. So when Michigan State takes over on offense, Stegenga, Wyshynski, Poplawski. Michigan State has 6 players. Now Wyshynski will go to the bench. Resbert and Montgomery also back in. Scott today 1 for 1 from the line.
We're going to be repetitious again and say you can't make 1 out of 2. You can't make 50%. You got to make 100% of your free throws at this time of the game. You have to make free throws.
Second try, and it's good. So a 6-point lead. Stegenga takes it to the strong. Oh, and leaves it in. 82-78. 1:05 left, and Montgomery has whistled for the foul, and I think he has just fouled out. Or is that his fourth?
Fifth foul on Montgomery.
But, yep, he's finished.
What you call sacrificing yourself for the team. Stopping the clock just to get the clock stopped so his team has a better chance of getting back in this game.
Montgomery leaves the game with 10 points. 2 shots for Anthony Buford. 24 in the game. And the first one by the senior is good. Buford averaging 13. And he has been a mark of consistency from the line today, unlike the rest of his teammates by and large.
If there is one person I'd like to see with the ball in their hands and on the free throw line at the end of the game, it is Anthony Buford.
1 minute to go from East Lansing. 84-78 Bearcats, and not a wise foul at all.
Is it going to be 3?
I thought he was inside the strike.
I did too.
And I think the official,
again. Yes.
They're going to get a conference over away from all the players. And Bob Huggins is all over Anthony Buford. They're saying it is a 3.
Look at his foot. Look at his. He was actually inside.
23, Buford.
He was inside the line.
Resbert gets 3 shots. Eric Snow, 13, Zuloff, 25.
So 3 shots coming up for Sean Resbert. And again, Judd Heathcote makes all the changes for his defensive alignment. Snow, Stevens, Zuloff, and Wyshynski in the game. 59 ticks remaining. And Resbert is shooting 3 consecutive free throws. He only has 2 points in the entire game. Here's another look.
Take a look at this, if you will. Where is the foot? You make the call.
84-78. 79 makes that now 84-80. Resbert has not hit a field goal in this game. Michigan State 16 out of 22 from the line. And he hits all 3. So the closest that the Spartans have been in the entire second half, and a foul is called. No time runs off the clock. It'll go against Snow, and Judd Heathcote is well aware of the fact that the Bearcats, as a team under 60%, he's going to make them earn it at the line.
Well, he's sending, you know, as far as UC is concerned, the right man to the foul line in Anthony Buford.
Foul one against Eric Snow. Buford, 26 points, 7 of 8 from the stripe. They get 8 of 9, and the Bearcats are 18 of 28 on their free throws today. No good. Battle for the rebound. Poplawski has it. 4-point lead. 52 seconds left. Westbrook fires from 2, and it's good. 2-point Bearcats lead, and a foul immediately by Zuloff. Well, it is down to the last 45 seconds. And we'll find out if Cincinnati can become one of those next-level teams, because such a large part of it is making your free throws.
Well, it'll actually either be a very long ride home or a very short ride home for the Bearcats, and they can make it a very short and very enjoyable ride home if they can make their free throws.
Alan Jackson from the line, 2 out of 2. Yeah, 7 points. Couldn't get either one of them. Rebound to Michigan State. Spartans can tie or take the lead with a 3. Shot in the corner. It's good. Tie game. 33 seconds left. Reach-in foul against Wyshynski. 85-85. Oh, my goodness. Michigan State trailed by 10.5, 18 in the second half. And the Spartans have come back to tie it up.
You practice this day in, day out. You can practice in your backyard. You can practice on the playground. Making free throws is a part of the game. But making them in pressure situations makes you a great team as opposed to a good team.
Beginga comes out. Zuloff back in. Anthony Miller will come in. They're going to ice Buford a little bit at the line as Refrick checks out. Bob Huggins, really out of his hands. Either his guys make them or they don't.
That's it. You can only prepare a team so far.
Buford, a big connection. 8 of 10 from the line. Bearcats by 1. 30.8 seconds left. Buford got them both.
Huggins wanted a timeout.
87-85. Wyshynski. Good head fake. Dumps it inside to Miller. And is it good? Goaltender.
Really question that call. Really question that call. Ball was barely released out of the hand before it was tipped away. Nice head fake. Making a pass down low. Ed Hightower, a very experienced referee, makes a very good call on this. He had the perfect angle.
Timeout Cincinnati. We're going to keep it right here. 23.3 seconds left to go. And this game is all tied up at 87 apiece. It is absolutely remarkable, the swing of momentum in this ball game. Bearcats led 51-41 at halftime. Then all of a sudden they started on that 7-0 run to get it to 17. Got it by as many as 18, Derek. And really the offense just went south.
Well, the offense, they stopped making good decisions. They made passes 20 to 25 feet from the basket as opposed to taking it in 15, 16, 17 feet from the basket. And then when the shot clock went down, the shots they were taking were outside of what would normally be a good shot for that basketball team.
All right, what Bob Huggins, what do you think he's telling them right now in that huddle?
Well, I think he's going to try to tell them, you got 23 seconds on the clock. You want to bring the ball all the way up the court. Take your time, be patient, look for a good shot. You may get fouled if you go to the foul line. You got to make those shots. If I was Judge Heathcote, I would foul the guy. Make them go to the free throw line and beat you on the free throw line.
Bearcats have not had a good time today from the line. 20 out of 33. And this is some kind of a game. 87-87, two undefeated teams matching basket for basket, blow for blow. Van Exel has come in for Cincinnati. He's joined by Blunt, Jackson, Buford, Jones. Michigan State, Miller, Zuloff, Snow, Wyshynski, and Stevens. They will not guard the ball. Four stacked across from sideline to sideline.
Anthony Buford's actually being double teamed right in the middle.
Get the ball to Jackson. Reach in foul. And only 1 second goes off the clock.
Not a bad move at all. Not at all. You want to foul someone, you want to foul them quickly, put them to the line if you're Michigan State. If you're Cincinnati, you want to get the ball and move it to your teammates as quickly as you can, hoping to catch somebody going backdoor.
Alan Jackson from the line, 2 out of 4, but he missed his last 2. And those were a big 2.
It looked to me like Allen failed to bend his knees and get his body involved with the shot. He went up with a lot of confidence, but he froze at the last minute, didn't follow through.
Well, here is the story. Got the shooter's roll. And Jackson will walk away and take a deep breath.
And for State, 25 Zuloff, 31 Stevens. For Resford and Wyshynski.
88-87. Cincinnati leading. Resford and Wyshynski come back to the Michigan State bench. 22.5 left. Both are good by Alan Jackson. And a timeout goes to Michigan State. 89-87. That is Michigan State's last timeout. So the Bearcats lead by 2.
What the Bearcats do not need to do right now is foul. Play good defense, make Michigan State take a long outside shot, contest the shot, get a hand in someone's face, and then block out and go get the ball off the rebounding board and pitch it out. They got a chance to maybe do some very good things in the next couple seconds. If they pitch it out, they can get an easy layup and maybe go up by 4 or 5 points and make this a very nice Christmas.
Well, you think Bob Huggins is living and dying with his team at the free throw line? Take a look here as the shot goes up by Alan Jackson, and he will keep an eye on AD, who missed his last 2 after connecting on his first 2. And Huggins looked to the skies, said thanks at least for that pair. It has not been easy going for UC at the line. 22 of 35. Michigan State, meanwhile, 17 out of 23.
Some of those free throws were the front ends of a 1-and-1. So the Bearcats had an opportunity to blow this game wide open. But because they failed to make those free throws, we have a great basketball game for our fans.
You're thinking 3-pointers now for Michigan State. A 3 would give them the win. Poplawski has not made one all year. Neither has Stevens. Steginga, 2 in the game, but both came in the first half. Montgomery is fouled out. Resford can knock him in. And Wyshynski with a basketball, 2 out of 8 from the 3-point line this season. 16 seconds left. Bearcats by 2. No foul in the backcourt. Both players going for the ball. Look out here. 3-pointer Wyshynski. It's good. Timeout. 4.5 left. Wyshynski nails the 3. And a 1-point Spartans lead. Oh, my goodness.
Could have been called on Anthony Buford going after the basketball, but a great recognition that time by Resford to find Wyshynski wide open for an uncontested 3-point shot to put these Spartans up by 1. They've worked hard for it.
They sure have. Veteran ball club, and they certainly did not cash it in when they fell behind by 18 points in the second half. All right, Cincinnati has the ball. Buford certainly has had the big game. He has 29. Jones has 23, but a quiet final 10 minutes of this game. Is Buford the man you go to?
Well, you want to try to go to whoever is able to get the ball because there's only 4.5 seconds to go in the game, but you want to get it in bounds first Try to get the ball up the court, run it if you can, make a pass or two if you can, and try to get a shot inside the three-point area. You can win the game with a two-pointer. It does not have to be a three-pointer.
This is Michigan State's first lead since it was 22-21 in the first half. 4.6 seconds left. Jones is at the other end. Terry Nelson will trigger. They have Jackson, Buford, and Van Exel at midcourt. 1-point lead for Michigan State. Knocked out of bounds. Cincinnati ball, 4.3 left. Snow going for the steal.
I don't think Terry Nelson was aware he could run the baseline on that last play. He cannot do it now.
See what Cincinnati sets up here. 4.3 left. Bearcats down by a point to Michigan State. Buford takes it. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 1. He fires. Could have a chance. Michigan State wins. Second year in a row, Cincinnati loses a heartbreaker to the Spartans. Our final 90-89. We'll be right back.